What do you do when the tool that you've come to really rely on you can no longer ethically support? Okay, I've been using ChatGPT pretty deeply for the last 18 months or so. I mean, it has really transformed the way that I run my business, the way that I think, the way that I approach my client projects. When I started with AI tools like ChatGPT, it was exploring how it might be a writing partner. I no longer do it. It's not a great writing partner at all, but it's been significant in terms of broadening my perspective on things. I mean, it's like not just my brain, but it's a billion brains on whatever the problem is that I'm solving. So inside my business, externally, like just all the things have been really deeply embedded. And now we have OpenAI that just signed this deal with the Pentagon and the Trump administration backing it, which makes me very unhappy for many, many reasons. A big one being the fact that there is like no guardrails on this deal. And that's something I've been concerned about for a while now with all of the AI companies, that we don't have any defined policies in place that protect us as humans, as the human race, that protects us from, from all the crazy, scary, insane potential outcomes of AI in the hands of people who don't want to do good things with it, right? Okay, so I was already concerned about that, and then this deal happened, and I've already been also thinking about like, how do I make decisions? Not really how do I make decisions, but how do I communicate decisions that I make or stances that I take publicly? Do I need to do that? When do I need to do that, etc.? Well, I'm doing that right now on this particular topic. So in my values are such that a company like OpenAI making a deal like this goes totally against my values, and I can't continue to support them. Okay, so even though Sam Altman said the deal was made sloppy and there's issues with it and stuff, they're only amending that. They're not backing out of the deal at this point in time of recording. Who knows what's going to happen over the next few days. Everything's always changing. So here's the thing. As I just said, I have deeply embedded a lot of my work and thinking in a tool like ChatGPT. I mean, I use other AI tools as well, but that's been my primary go-to for a while now. So that means there is like many months of conversation history, context, institutional knowledge that's just all baked in. I mean, I use it for my personal life, all the stuff, right? Many of us are doing this. So what does that mean if you are going to switch tools? There's a boycott right now. What if I join that boycott and decide I'm done with ChatGPT? Okay, so I have to think about the implications of that. As a small business owner, anytime you have to make a decision about a tool that's like a major tool in your business that you work with, there's implications to consider. There's downsides, right, of stopping use of that tool, and real risks, right? There's real risks of losing what is many hours of groundwork and all of that information if I can't get it all out. And I am following, some processes around that as I'm like exploring, what do I do? What do I do in a situation like this? Okay, so I think that's one big consideration is, what is the cost of the decision to stay with ChatGPT or, move away from it, right? And I'm thinking about this in terms of not just this particular tool, but any tool, right? And that's kind of the bigger picture around all of this. In my 20 plus years of being in business, this is not the first time that I've been in a situation where I've had kind of frankly, an over-reliance or a very important dependence on a tool or a piece of technology. And realizing that that's probably not a good idea. I mean, it's happened before when, like, for example, like creating a website and like lead gen stuff and email marketing in one of those all-in-one. There's just other examples like that over the years that have happened. And so I'm just reminded again of, how that can be dangerous, right? To have over reliance on any one particular tool or piece of technology. It's kind of like if you think about building wealth, and of course, conventional advice is don't put all of your eggs in one basket, right? Like diversify your portfolio. And you really do need to take the same kind of approach with your technology that you're using in your business. Okay, and especially like now when I feel like more and more people care about how they're supporting the businesses that they are patroning and who those businesses are, right? Like what are they standing for? And is that in alignment with what you believe and what you value? Okay. So my decision where I'm going with all of this is I am looking at making the switch. I cannot wait around for OpenAI to change their minds. Maybe they'll pull out of the deal. Who knows, right? I can change my mind, though. I can know my own mind and take steps forward that will be in alignment with my values. Okay, so my choice there doesn't depend on them doing the right thing. It depends on me doing the right thing. But of course, there's all of the implications of that decision that I am working through right now. So my process is, I'm in it. I've already spent a number of hours today just looking into, there's some great resources, by the way, out there of how to like extract all of your information out of ChatGPT, et cetera. So I'm like finding those very helpful resources. I'm looking through all the steps, but that again is a lot of time involved to do that. And, as well, for most business owners, that time is one thing that you really don't have a lot of. So, is it going to be worth it? So I ultimately have to make that decision. Yeah, this is going to be worth it. Okay, so you don't have to agree with my decision, but I just want to share how I'm thinking through it because as I shared already, this isn't just about ChatGPT. It's about how we look at all of the different tools and technology and businesses that we interact with and rely on and patron within our own business, and how much of that is happening in alignment with what you believe. And do you even care about those things, right? Do your people care about those things? I know my audience does. So I've been feeling more and more compelled to really take a stand where I can and communicate that. And that's not easy for me to do because I'm a pretty private person. So when it comes to not only making these decisions, but then sharing that publicly, it feels vulnerable. Frankly, it feels vulnerable, and I don't know what exactly all the repercussions are going to be of that, but that's how I'm going about it. And by sharing my process with all this, I'm hoping it's going to be helpful for some of you to be thinking about how the decisions that you make line up with your beliefs and the costs of those decisions and how you might communicate what those decisions are. I'd really love to hear your thoughts about all of this. I'd really love to, now I don't necessarily need to know what you've decided about ChatGPT or anything like that, but I really want to know just your thoughts generally about using tools in your business and what you think about dependence on those tools and where you see the risks and the costs showing up. I'd love to hear that. So wherever you're watching this, please put that in the comments or the chat or wherever it is. I'd love to hear what you're thinking and what you're doing. I think we can all really learn from each other around situations like this. Okay, thanks.